The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.
Happy Seasons Eve, all Cherries fans and the rest of the Premier League. It's Bournemouth calling, and welcome to the Up the Cherries in all departments season preview special. Now, before we get going, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button below. It helps this channel to grow. Also, do check out our sponsors. Firstly, Touchpoint Telecoms, touchpointtelecoms.co.uk. Do get in contact with Mark and the team, who will be able to cover your telecoms from Dorset to Hampshire, from Somerset to Wiltshire, from Berkshire to Bristol, and everywhere in between as well, and even further north as well. Also, do check out our other sponsors, which is Dental on the Banks at dentalonthebanks.co.uk, where you can get all your gnashers sorted. And here's a little bit about them now. Do spot a couple of our current players.
I should be like you, Mel.
So there we are. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Now, we do have a very special guest for the season preview. And our special guest played left back for AFC Bournemouth back in that championship winning team of 2015. It is no other than Charlie Daniels. Welcome back to the show, Charlie Daniels. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, all good, all good. And I know that we did an interview with you a couple of years back now. But how is life treating you? What are you up to?
Yeah, life's really well. I'm now the Watford under 21s head coach, which has been good. You know, ever since I stopped playing, I got into coaching. I started as like the assistant manager for the under 18s and worked my way up through under 18s now to under 21s. I've been doing that for about 2-3 seasons now. So everything's going well. That's what's happening.
Excellent stuff, mate. Excellent. And of course, you built a legacy at AFC Bournemouth. Without the team that you were in, we wouldn't be enjoying another season of top flight football. How proud are you still looking back at that, knowing that the club are still living that legacy?
Yeah, you know, when you're part of something special, and you say that this, when you look back at your footballing career, and to have moments is special, but to be part of a team and a club that got 2 promotions in 3 seasons, and the first team to be in the Premier League, first squad to be in the Premier League for Bournemouth, you know, that's something that I look back on in my footballing career and really take pride of. Mm-hmm. It was a very special team. It was a very special moment to be a part of, and as I say, it's to still be remembered is a legacy that obviously is really special to me.
And honestly, even though 2022 was special when we got promoted against Nottingham Forest, nothing could ever beat that feeling of being promoted for the first time to the top flight. And, with a team that were so well put together, so likable as well, I think it's a legacy that'll always be there. A legacy that, this team was built over so many years, or such a short amount of years, really. Um, and we are still living that. There's teams that go up and then come straight back down. We didn't.
Yeah, the squad that we had was really special. I think that's what, I'll be honest, that's what made it. It's the dressing room that we had throughout them years, going from League One through the Championship up into the Premier League. We had some fantastic players who just got better and better. But the characters and the people that we had, not only as the players but as the staff, it's such a unique moment and a unique place. I mean, a lot of us moved on to different places or come from different places to Bournemouth, and everyone says it's the dressing room that we had at that time was so special, and that's what gets you success. We was all in it to improve ourselves, to perform on the pitch, and to get to the club as high as we possibly could. The journey we went on was tremendous. It was special, and even when you see all your teammates from that time, you still relive it. You remember the good days, you remember the bad days as well, but the moments are, and the journey that we went on are there forever.
And looking at players that, of course, will be coming into the club. Of course, Jordi Petrovic has played in the top flight before with Chelsea, but you've got Adrian Traffair and Befode Diakite, who has joined from Lille. What was it like making that transition to the Premier League from the Championship, and how difficult will it be for these guys?
I think it's a massive jump.
Mm-hmm.
It's the biggest one you could possibly think of in terms of the quality, the speed, the intelligence, everything around a football player just gets bigger when they go in the Premier League. What the lads that you just mentioned that are coming in will have is them kind of qualities, but going from a different country to the Premier League is probably their biggest thing is probably the speed of the Premier League. The intensity of the Premier League is probably what they're gonna notice more than anything. And it might take them time. They might just take to it like a duck to water, like so many players have. So it's probably the unknown that's what everyone's thinking about. But hopefully we'll find out from the first game or the first few games, once they get settled, how they're going to perform.
Our defence, back from that Championship winning season and into the Premier League, was very, very, it was consistent. There was not many changes to it. Of course, Adam Smith come in at times, but there was it wasn't a big overhaul like we're seeing during the summer. Milos Kerkez is gone. Dean Howson, we always expected him to go. Elias Abanier has also gone as well. How disruptive do you think that will be to the start of the season? How do you think a manager like Andoni Iraola will cope with it?
I think the manager will be fine with it. I think if you look at him, he's a very laid back person, but behind the scenes, I know he will be working a lot on the back four and trying to get another settled back four. I mean, if you look at even last year, the three that you mentioned, and then maybe it was the right backs that kept changing. Obviously, Smudge, Adam Smith was there, but obviously got injured. Lewis Cook played there. James Hill, I think, come in every now and again. Araujo come in and played a few times, but I think 3 at the back 4 was really quite settled. And I'm sure that the manager is probably looking for the same thing. And listen, he might persevere with the 2 new signings and another 2, and just keep them together and hopefully give them a few games, letting them settle in, letting them understand how not only the Premier League works, but how each other works in terms of the way that they want to play and stuff like that. Getting that telepathy together, and once that happens, and once it'll be the same as last season, I can see, because if you look from the midfield forward, again, it's full of pace, it's full of power, it's full of goals, it's full of creativity, it's full of excitement. Mm-hmm. So I've got no doubt that they'll be fine going forward. It's probably, again, we go back to the unknown. It's the unknown of how these new players are going to perform. But I'm sure once they're settled, I'm sure that everything will be fine.
In my honest opinion, and I know that a lot of people, and a lot of Bournemouth fans are really worried about going into this season with so many defensive changes. The defence is the area that you want most static. How beneficial and how important was that to your team when we were first promoted to the Premier League?
Yeah, I think, listen, like anything, I think having a settled side, no matter where it is, I think is key to having success and changing maybe 1 or 2 a week as much as you can. It's like any if you look at any club that has had success, it has had a settled backline. Like you say, I think it is key, because it's protection more than anything. It's that stability, and then allowing the front player to be creative, to be a bit off the cuff, to do something a bit. Plus, the goalie needs to be settled, and you need that cohesion together. So, again, like, I think they will be doing a lot on the training ground. And I say, once we get 3-4 games underneath the belt, whatever the back 4 is, I'm sure they'll get more settled. They get more used to each other, and then they will start reaping the rewards. But then, like I say, you never know. They might just take to it like a duck to water, and they might be flying straight from the get-go.
Well, fingers crossed, but we know one person that does take things like a duck to water and has been consistent in the AFC Bournemouth side for so many years now is Smudge, Adam Smith himself. How does he keep going? He's been excellent.
Yeah, I don't know. He's listen, he looks after himself. He's a great professional. He understands the game. He understands his body more than anything. He's a great person to be around. He's a great person for the club. He's a great ambassador for the club. He's really good for his teammates. He's a special person, and to be at the club for so long and make so many appearances, and to keep going, it's a testament to himself. There's not much more you can say about Smudge. He's a top bloke. He's a top professional, and he's a top individual.
Do you feel, though, he's had to change his style of play as well in that right back position? As we all age, I guess we become a little bit slower. Unfortunately, it is one of those things in life, really, isn't it? But how do you think he has adjusted his game? Because there's been a couple of things that I've picked out in the past. There was a game against Brighton where I think he struggled a little bit because we were getting a bit too close to the attacker. But he's clever enough to actually, I think, back off, and actually give himself a little bit more time against those really, really pacey players that you do have in the top flight. Do you share that, or do you think that maybe that is?
Yeah, I think not. I don't think. Listen, you naturally will lose pace, but I don't think it's that. I think it's wisdom. I think it's understanding. I think it's now when you're young and enthusiastic, you just run for the sake of running. Yeah. Now, when you get a bit older, you and more intelligent, more wisdom, more games underneath your belt, you know when to run and you know how to defend. So it may look like you've lost your pace, but it's actually you're smarter in the way that you work, and you're probably more effective in the way that you work. So I wouldn't say Smudge has probably lost pace. I think he's using his brain more than anything. He's using his experience more than anything to get himself through the games, and he has to adapt because it's a new manager, a new way of playing. So he's probably had to do that as well alongside getting older, getting more experienced.
With regards to Andoni Iraola's style, and one thing that I think a lot of fans probably thought at the end of last season was that we did run a little bit out of steam because of the high press, because of the high intensity of games. How do you, Charlie, feel that Andoni could manage that to make sure that that doesn't happen again, and that we get points in vital times when we didn't last season?
Yes, it's a tough one, really. I think it's probably one for his learning and how maybe he would change it. But then you don't want him to change the way that he wants to play, also.
Yeah,
because there's times where won games or got back in games because you have been expansive, you have been a high energy late in the game. So it kind of works both ways. I'm sure he's learned from stuff from last season. But what we don't want as a football club is we don't want to lose the style that we want to play more than anything. We want to play the Bournemouth way. We want to be high energy, high attacking. We want to score goals, and naturally that will lead to conceding goals. It's just the way that we go. So I'm sure there's moments in games where he probably could have changed things. And I'm sure he does know that. He's a fantastic manager, but I think there's you got to kind of weigh up everything. So I'm sure that's what he's thinking.
Of course, Lewis is still in the team as well. He will be banned for the first couple of games, including the trip to Liverpool. But he was rock last season. He was solid. He was, again, very adaptable, went into that right back position as well. How important is he to the team? Because I think he's a player that, again, has only got better with age. I know that he was really frustrated at times when he first come in because of his injuries, which unfortunately he can't do much about. But how much do you feel that he's matured as a player?
Yeah, I think he's the rock for Bournemouth in the midfield. I think he's, as I say, I think him alongside Smudge has been the stalwarts in the Bournemouth side. I think they're the ones not only on the pitch but off the pitch really keep the team together. And I'm sure that going into this season, he'll want to be that focal point as well. He loves being in the middle. He loves the combative side of the game. He wants to drive the team forward, and I'm sure that the manager will use him how he needs to use him. And like you say, I think he trusts him more than anything, because if you see, he trusts him to play right back, he trusts him to play in the middle, and to have people like that in your team is crucial.
The wingers were really, really important for us last season as well. Antoine Semenyo, of course, David Brooks, player that you probably know, and also Dango Ouattara as well. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of talk about Dango Ouattara and being linked with Brentford. It's a weird one for me, because at the end of the day, I think a move to Brentford would be a sideways move for him. But do you feel that it might be that he's demanding first team football, and players surely can't do that in the top flight?
That's a great question. It's probably one that I can't answer. Probably Django is the only one who can answer that. It might be again, speculation. I don't really know. It might be that he's demanding first team football. It might be that the club may be selling him maybe to have another replacement in ready to go. There may be so many different things in place that everyone doesn't know about. So if it does happen, I'm sure there'll be someone ready to replace him. If it doesn't happen, I'm sure the manager will be happy to keep him. So it's probably one between Django and the club in terms of what's going on. To say I can't really comment on that, and I don't really know anything that's going on with that.
I just want to touch upon David Brooks as well, because Brooksy, we've already done our starting lineup and our predicted starting lineup for this Liverpool game, and he is in it. And I think he is such an important player moving into this season. I was concerned when he had, and had the unfortunate case of when had Hodgkin lymphoma. Um, I was concerned, whether or not he would be able to play at the level again. He has shown so much drive and so much determination to go from something which is, of course, life threatening, but also has so much of an effect on your muscles, to being able to play week in, week out in the top flight. How impressed are you with, his recovery, but his determination in that recovery?
It's massive, Everyone was obviously devastated to hear about what happened to Brooksy and the struggles that him and his family went through. It was a sad time, and to see him now go through it all, and now to be at the other end, and hopefully starting in the first game of the season. It's just a testament to him as a person. He's, like you say, his drive, his determination to beat it and to thrive. I think he's going to be a good stalwart for Bournemouth this season. I think he's going to be an important player, and I think his quality will shine through in a lot of games.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Of course, Dominic Solanke left last summer, and Evan Nilsson come in. He did take a little while to get going, but he's really, really shone last season. What does he need to do next season, Charlie, in your eyes, to actually become even better, and achieve, and more on what he's already done at AFC Bournemouth?
Yeah, I think just score more goals. To be honest, I think what he's shown is a top quality player in the Premier League, a top Premier League player. And now, if he can translate that with more goals, I think there will be people circling. I'm sure of it, because he signed for big money. But if he can play the way that he's played and score more goals, again, I'm sure he'll go for another big money, which obviously we don't hope that happens. We want him to score for Bournemouth. So I think that he's going to be really important for Bournemouth to win games. I think he's the one that everyone's going to look to score the goals, and I think he likes having that pressure on himself. I think he has high standards for himself. I think he's played at the highest level in the Champions League, and I'm sure that he wants to get back there. And I'm sure that he wants to do it with Bournemouth. So he's again. I'm sure he's had a great pre-season. I'm sure he's ready to go, and I'm sure, I've got no doubt that he's going to score goals as well this season.
Well, I tell you what, if we move away from Bournemouth for the time being, and discuss another person you will know all too well in the top flight, Mr. Eddie Howe, or Sir Eddie Howe, as we all talk to about him on this channel. Newcastle, in all honesty, have had a frustrating window. Of course, Alexander Isak has come out, or, again, it's all in the press, who knows what happens behind closed doors, but it's assumed that Alexander Isak is wanting to move away from St James's Park. How will Eddie have handled that, if that is true?
I'm sure Eddie just wants an outcome more than anything, whether that's Isaac staying or Isaac going. I think he just wants an outcome and to move forward. Like any top manager in the Premier League, he wants Isaac to stay. I'm sure of it, like anyone would, because he is one of the best, if not the best, striker last season in the Premier League. So anyone who has him at the start of the season or when the window shuts is going to be a better side for it. So I'm sure he's frustrated with what's going on and how he's gone about it. But I think he just wants an outcome either way, so he can move on and really develop the squad that he has, and that's what he's best at.
With Eddie's Newcastle, did manage to get back into the Champions League last season. Can they be title contenders considering, the turbulent summer they have had?
I don't see them as title contenders. I still see them as fourth to sixth place. I mean, I think Chelsea have strengthened really well. I think Arsenal are always going to be up there. I think they've strengthened really well. I think Liverpool are just favourites. I think they've won the Premier League last season and gone really strong in the transfer market. So I think they'll be in and around it. I think it's going to be tougher than it was last season to get into the top four. I think Tottenham have impressed, obviously, in the Super Cup, and they've had a good pre-season. I think Man United have had a good pre-season and again have recruited well. So it's going to be tougher than it was last season. But yeah, so I don't see them as title contenders, but I do see them as being up and around it.
Of course, it's all changed since we was promoted, and the Premier League has become more and more money focused. I think it's right to say that it's becoming more difficult for teams who are promoted out of the Championship to stay up. What do this current crop need to do? Burnley, Leeds and Sunderland to actually keep themselves above the dotted line, or do you think it's nigh on impossible until something just levels out?
Well, I think they have to do what we had to do, which is you have to beat the teams that in and around you, or you think that you can beat, and that's purely it. I think you have to really set out before the season who the teams we need to compete with, and then the teams that you are not competing with or you think are too far ahead of you, if you can pick up points off them, then it's a bonus. But I think the real big focus should be, from my perspective, is that you need to beat the teams in and around where you think you're going to finish. If you beat them, it gives you a great opportunity to go on and stay up, and then hopefully build on that.
Could you see any of them staying up this time round?
You got to say Leeds. Leeds has got probably a good chance. I think Sunderland are a great side, but maybe a bit too young. And again, they haven't been in the Premier League for a while. And the same with Burnley. I think Scott's done a fantastic job with Burnley and gotten them in a really good place. I just think it's going to be really tough for all three clubs to stay up. But you can never say never. If they have if they can beat the teams in and around them, if they can produce a fantastic season, and it gives you a great platform to then go again, reinvest, and try and build momentum and keep in the Premier League.
We've touched on Brentford, and we've of course had some big games with Brentford throughout the years as well, but they have lost Thomas Frank, and of course they have lost quite a few players as well, with Johan Wissa expected to go as well. Do you think that their time in the top flight might be running out, considering, even though they had a good season last time around, considering how many changes have been made and how little's come through the door?
I think looking from outside in, you probably would say that.
Mm.
You probably would say they could struggle. I'm sure the people, again, that run the club are not naive people, and they've got full trust in the squad and in Keith Andrews as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they have a plan. I'm sure they've worked out every which way which they see the season going. And now it's down to the players to put it into practice more than anything. But it's not just them. I think there's a few clubs that you could say are probably in the same boat, looking in. But again, it's we have to wait for the season to start. Once we're 5 games in, I think you can start really critiquing squads and decisions that have been made during the summer.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot now, Charlie, because I want you to predict who you think will win the top flight, the rest of the top 4, where Bournemouth are going to finish, and the bottom 3. Should we go with the title winners first?
Yeah, title winners. I'm going to go for Liverpool.
Liverpool again.
I think they've got a really strong squad from last season. I think they've recruited really well, and I think they're going to be tough to beat. Sorry.
And with regards to the remainder of the top 4, can you see anybody else getting back in?
I can see Man City. I think I'm going to go Man City, Arsenal, and Chelsea. I think that's going to be the top 4 again.
You think Eddie will miss out?
Yeah, I'm going to go Chelsea in the 4th. I think so. I think, yeah, as painful as it is for me to say, I think the other 3 squads are really strong, and with Newcastle being in the Champions League, I think it's really tough to go midweek Sunday a lot. It's a tough, and you do need a big squad to really compete on all levels.
And for the bottom 3, and you see what I'm saving till last here.
Yeah.
Who do you think will go down?
The bottom 3, I think, is the 3 that come up. I think Burnley, Sunderland, and Leeds. I'd think, as you said before, I think them 3 are. I think it's going to be close. I do think it's going to be closer than last season. I just think that as the season goes on, I think the teams that have been in there, I think will just get over the line.
What do you think needs to happen? Do you think that there needs to be more money pumped into the Championship for the sides that are coming up to have a real go, or what do you think needs to happen to make it a little bit more competitive? Because that would be season 3 in a row. Yeah,
it's tough, really. I think recruitment is a massive thing, and it's one of them things that if you can stay up once, listen, I could be wrong. All 3 could stay up. I think if you stay up once, I think it gives you a massive confidence, and I think it gives you a massive revenue increase to then recruit again and then recruit again. Listen, Bournemouth done it. Brentford have done it. There's teams that have done it and sustained themselves up into the Premier League. So it can be done. I think the hardest part is getting over that first hurdle, the first season, and then going again.
You talk there about recruitment, and I just want to actually segue into this as well, because a man that you played alongside for many years, he was on the right, you was on the left, Mr. Simon Francis. He has done an absolutely outstanding job. Could you ever see that he was going to be that good at recruiting the talent? And how much goes into that, do you think?
Yeah, I could see it. I know. See Frano very well. He's ever since he stopped playing and started working in the recruitment side, he was definitely on the right path to become what he is now, and he's really taken on board. He's learned a lot, and he's thriving, and he's doing really well. And I'm sure that there's more to come with Frano. He's at the. I mean, the deals that he's done so far and the recruitment that he's made is a testament to himself and his staff that he's got. You know, it's not just Frano. He's the head, the focal point, but the staff that he has underneath him and the scouting and recruitment that has been done, and then obviously the trust that Bill's putting in to sign these players, it just shows how well the club is run more than anything.
Well, hopefully that black book of contacts and players that are going to be great for the future is well looked after in a safe, probably multiple safes as well, just to make sure that nobody pinches it, because I'm sure it's something that every Premier League club wants to get hold of. But, Charlie, where are we
Yes.
going to finish?
I think 10th. I'm going to go 10th. I think 10th is a good position this season. I think that with the players going out and players coming in, I think being in the training ground now for the start of this season, I think will be a big benefit. I think with the development with the stadium, and then once that's finished, I think it's going to be at the time where Bournemouth really steps forward in terms of everything. I think that what needs to happen is the consolidation of being in the Premier League, making improvements, small improvements, and then once everything's finalised, once everything's done, once all the stadium's been revamped, I think then's the time where we can really push forward.
And to be honest, without your team, without that team from back in 2015, these changes would not be happening. So, it's a testament to what you and the team achieved at that point. It really is.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear. It's like I said at the start, it's something I'm really proud to be a part of and play a small part in, and to see the club where it is now and the stadium renovations, the training ground. It's really, really nice to know you've helped in some way to make this happen.
Well, most definitely you have. I just want to touch on a few players as well who are still playing at the top level. And of course, Steve Cook, a man that you will know very, very well, and an absolute gentleman. He is at QPR again for another season.
Yeah.
He did come off the bench in their last game, a draw against Preston. How long do you think Steve can play in the Championship for? And do you think he can help QPR back to the Premier League at some point?
I think Steve can play for as long as Steve wants to play. I think I don't think his body will give up. I think it will probably be what's next for Steve that will stop him playing. I think QPR are going in the right direction now.
Yeah,
I think they had a bad period last season, or maybe the season before, but now they look like they are starting to get themselves kind of settled in terms of off the pitch. They've actually recruited well with the signings that they have made, and I think it's a club going in the right direction. I think it's a club that is at the heart of the community. I think it's a club that needs probably the people like Steve and local players in and around to really help and connect with the fans. But also it needs a team that wins the game of football. And I think that it's a stronger side than it was last season. and I think they'll be okay this season. I think if they can improve on their league position from last season, it'll be a good season for them.
Steve Cook is a player that when I think he hangs up his boots, will look for the route into management. Do you think that is in his mindset, or do you think there's another route that he's planned?
I think he will. It's a good question. I think he'll have a long think about what he wants to do, whether that's on the pitch or off the pitch. But what I will know is he will be in football in some capacity. He will be in football in some capacity. I don't know if he wants to, what he wants to do. But listen, he wants to play football at the minute.
Yeah.
And that's all he's focused on. I think there's stuff probably going on in the background, which he will have a think about with him and his family. So, but from now moving forward, he just wants to be on that pitch and play football and just enjoy it like he always has done.
100%. And of course, Matt Ritchie, he was at Portsmouth last season. I understand that he's going to be moving on from Portsmouth, but will still be playing at another club. There's been rumours flying around of him going to League One, and Reading's been mentioned in particular. But Matt Ritchie, do you think, do we expect to see him in the Championship, or do you think he'll drop down to League One?
Matty will want to play. That's all he wants to do.
Yeah.
He wants to play football. He wants to compete. He wants to win games of football. To which team is different, but he wants a challenge. He wants to, like I said, he just wants to play. He wants to do what Matt Ritchie does. He wants to excite the crowd. He wants to score goals. He wants to set up goals. So wherever he goes, I know they're getting a fantastic footballer, a fantastic person, and a player that wants the best for whatever club he's playing for. He wants the high standards on and off the pitch. He wants to make the club and the team better than before he was there.
And Charlie, finally, before I let you go, under 21s coach at Watford at the moment. What is your overall plan? Are you looking towards management, or what's the end goal for yourself, do you reckon?
Yeah, the end goal is to be a manager in wherever that is. I don't know. At the minute, I'm learning. I am developing as a manager. Listen, if that comes tomorrow, I'm prepared. I'm ready. If that comes in 5 years, I know I'll be better than I was today. So for me, it's waiting for the right opportunity to come, and making myself the best prepared that I can be for when it happens. Like I say, I'm enjoying my time at Watford. I've learned a lot. I've developed a lot. I've had good insight into first team management, first team coaching. So, say whatever happens off the back of that, say if it's tomorrow, if it's in 5 years, I know I'm prepared and I'm ready for it.
Most definitely. Well, Charlie, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and all the very, very best to Watford for this season as well. Never know, might be playing Watford again in the Premier League next season. Fingers crossed. But yeah, always a pleasure, and hopefully catch up very, very soon as well, mate.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for having me on. Great to speak to you.
Always a pleasure, Charlie. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And there we are, guys. Thank you so much for Charlie for joining us as well. Please hit the like, subscribe, the bell button below. It does really help this channel to grow. Also, check out all of our other interviews as well. We have done a preview ahead of the Liverpool game as well. Can we beat Liverpool? Of course we can. We're going to do it. Don't you worry. Also, check out all of our other interviews as well. We've had Denny Mundy on recently as well, where he talks about Swindon, to the Cherries and beyond. We've also spoken to the likes of Richie Neville from Five. He's got a new tour coming out very, very soon. Tom Meehan from Kasabian, David Icke, believe it or not, Omid Jalili, Matt Letizier. We've spoken to Matt Priest from Dodgy, Damon Minchella from Ocean Colour Scene. The list is endless. Rich Archer from Hardfi, Adam Devlin from the Blue Tones. Go to the interview tab, just go and watch them all back to back. It will make us very, very happy. But thank you again for joining us, all you Cherries fans. And fingers crossed, we can get off to the perfect start up at Anfield. Come on, you Cherries. We can do this.
The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.